Uncle Zhang just turned 60 this year, and his body is as strong as a young man's. Every morning, he appears punctually at the fitness square in the community, practicing Tai Chi and dancing with everyone. Seeing Uncle Zhang's rosy complexion and vigorous spirit, the neighbors couldn't help but feel envious, asking him for his secret to staying in such good health. Uncle Zhang chuckled and said there wasn't anything special about it, just keeping good living habits and a positive, optimistic mindset. Then, lowering his voice mysteriously, he added, "But I did hear of a saying that once a person reaches 60, as long as they avoid these three kinds of diseases, they can basically live to 100. This immediately piqued everyone's curiosity, and they eagerly asked what these three diseases were. But Uncle Zhang kept them in suspense, saying, "I'm not exactly sure either, but I've noticed that the elderly people in our community who live long seem not to have these illnesses." His words quickly stirred up heated discussions in the community. So what are the three diseases? Everyone began to guess. Some said high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. Others suggested cancer, stroke, and dementia. Some even mentioned depression, anxiety, and insomnia. To get to the bottom of it, the neighborhood committee decided to invite Dr. Wang, a well-known geriatric expert from the city, to give a health lecture. On the day of the lecture, the activity room was packed with people eagerly waiting for the answer to this mystery. "Hello, everyone, and welcome," Dr. Wang began. "The first illness is cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of death globally and poses a serious threat to the health of elderly people. As we age, the blood vessels gradually harden and heart function declines, making the elderly more susceptible to cardiovascular issues. These diseases include coronary heart disease, heart attacks, heart failure, high blood pressure, and more. High blood lipids are also a common risk factor, as a slower metabolism in the elderly can lead to elevated cholesterol and triglycerides. This abnormality can cause plaque buildup in the blood vessel walls, narrowing the arteries and increasing the risk of heart disease and stroke. Dr. Wang continued, "Coronary heart disease, a common type of cardiovascular disease, manifests as chest pain or heart attacks. Elderly people, due to arterial hardening and narrowing, are prone to myocardial ischemia and oxygen deprivation, leading to this condition. Cardiovascular disease affects the elderly by impairing the function of the heart and blood vessels, disrupting normal blood circulation and oxygen supply. Symptoms such as palpitations, shortness of breath, chest tightness, and chest pain may occur. In severe cases, it can lead to heart failure or a heart attack, which can be life-threatening." Dr. Wang also explained that cardiovascular disease often lowers quality of life for seniors. Many need to take medications for long periods, make regular doctor visits, and some even require surgeries, greatly affecting their daily activities. Psychologically, it can cause anxiety and fear, which in turn further deteriorates their health. On top of that, the cost of treatment, medications, surgeries, rehabilitation, places a heavy financial burden on the elderly and their families. High blood pressure is one of the most important risk factors for cardiovascular disease. Due to the declining elasticity of blood vessels, elderly people often develop high blood pressure, which can damage the heart, kidneys, and brain, increasing the risk of heart disease and stroke. To prevent cardiovascular disease, Dr. Wang advised elderly people to maintain a healthy diet, low in salt, fat, and sugar, while rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins. Regular exercise, such as walking, jogging, swimming, or Tai Chi, helps strengthen the heart, lower blood pressure, and reduce cholesterol levels. Additionally, he recommended quitting smoking and limiting alcohol, as both can damage the blood vessels and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. Weight management is also important, as obesity is another risk factor. Dr. Wang emphasized the need for regular checkups, including blood pressure, lipid, and glucose levels, along with heart examinations to detect and treat problems early. Next, Dr. Wang addressed the second illness, trauma from falls and fractures. As people age, they experience osteoporosis, muscle weakness, and declining balance, making them prone to injuries like hip or spinal fractures. Osteoporosis, due to a reduction in bone density, makes the bones fragile. Without sufficient calcium and vitamin D or appropriate physical activity, the risk of fractures increases. Dr. Wang noted that vision and hearing loss, slower reaction times, and hazardous home environments, such as slippery floors or poor lighting, further heighten the risk of falls in the elderly. Fractures can cause significant pain, disability, and even long-term bedridden conditions, severely reducing quality of life. He also warned about complications like infections, deep vein thrombosis, and pneumonia that often follow fractures, sometimes proving fatal. To prevent such accidents, Dr. Wang advised seniors to ensure adequate calcium and vitamin D intake through food or supplements under a doctor's guidance. Appropriate physical activities, such as walking, Tai Chi, and yoga, can help build muscle strength and improve balance, while ensuring a safer home environment can help avoid falls. Seniors should also undergo regular bone density checks and address osteoporosis early. Finally, Dr. Wang introduced the third illness, dementia. Alzheimer's disease, a progressive and irreversible neurodegenerative disorder, has been rising in prevalence with an aging population. Early signs include memory loss, declining cognitive function, and emotional fluctuations. As the disease progresses, seniors lose their ability to take care of themselves and require constant care. Dr. Wang said, although the exact cause of Alzheimer's remains unclear, prevention revolves around maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Keeping the brain active through continuous learning, engaging in activities like reading, chess, painting, and socializing helps delay cognitive decline. He recommended a balanced diet rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals found in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and fish, regular exercise to improve circulation and oxygen supply to the brain, and participating in social activities to relieve stress and maintain emotional well-being. He also emphasized managing chronic conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol to lower the risk of dementia. After explaining these three diseases, Dr. Wang added, there are also three other diseases that aren't physical ailments but still play a crucial role in an elderly person's health and longevity. The first is laziness. Many retirees stop moving after retirement, he explained, spending their days watching TV or playing cards at home. This sedentary lifestyle can lead to muscle atrophy, osteoporosis, and an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. He encouraged seniors to find an exercise routine that suits their abilities, aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity aerobic activity each week. Uncle Zhang nodded in agreement. He had always prioritized exercise, walking every morning and practicing Tai Chi in the park. He knew firsthand the benefits, both physically and mentally. Whenever he saw his peers become weak and sickly due to inactivity, he felt even more determined to stay active. The second disease is loneliness, Dr. Wang said, stressing the importance of social interaction for mental and emotional health. Prolonged isolation can lead to depression and anxiety, even hastening cognitive decline. He cited a study from the Chinese Journal of Geriatrics showing that elderly individuals who participate in social activities have a 50% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's, compared to those who are socially isolated. He encouraged seniors to join community activities, stay in touch with family and friends, and even consider keeping a pet. Uncle Zhang recalled how he enjoyed chatting and exercising with his neighbors every day. Their shared experiences and mutual support brought warmth to his heart, making life more enjoyable. He also actively participated in community events, where he made many new friends. These social interactions had added vibrancy to his life and lifted his spirits. The third disease is stopping learning, Dr. Wang explained. Many elderly people think they don't need to learn anything new once they've retired. However, continuous learning stimulates the brain and helps delay cognitive decline. He referenced a study published in the Chinese Journal of Gerontology, which found that elderly people who regularly engaged in learning activities experienced cognitive decline 30% slower than those who didn't. Uncle Zhang deeply resonated with this. He had always loved reading and learning and didn't give up this habit after retiring. He had signed up for a calligraphy class at the local senior university and attended weekly lessons. Not only did his calligraphy skills improve, but he also made many like-minded friends. He realized that learning had made his life more fulfilling and kept his mind active. Recently, he even started learning how to use a smartphone, and though it was difficult at first, he could now skillfully video call his grandchildren through WeChat. It turned out that this, too, was a way of exercising his brain. After Dr. Wang's lecture, many elderly residents of the community found themselves reflecting on their own lives. Retired teacher Aunt Lee said, "I thought I was in pretty good shape, but it turns out I have all three of these problems. I need to make some changes." The community nurse, Sister Zhang, laughed and agreed, "Yes, these three problems seem simple, but their impact is profound. We should keep each other in check and maintain healthy lifestyles together." Retired worker Grandpa Wang added, "I'm signing up for a class at the senior university tomorrow. I heard they have a course on using smartphones." Hearing everyone's discussions, Uncle Zhang felt quite pleased. Although he hadn't deliberately tried to be mysterious, this little puzzle had sparked everyone's thoughts and actions toward healthier living, which was exactly what he had hoped to see. From that day forward, the atmosphere in the community subtly changed. More and more elderly residents began taking morning walks, signing up for classes, and participating in social activities. Although they had already retired, they found themselves busier than ever, and their spirits seemed brighter. A sense of fulfillment and joy filled their lives. Many residents felt that by embracing exercise, social interaction, and learning, they had found the true secret to longevity. As Uncle Zhang continued his daily Tai Chi practice, he watched his neighbors walk by with smiles on their faces. He realized that perhaps the biggest secret of all was quite simple: staying active in body, mind, and heart, no matter your age.